We're on, James.
Alright.
Alright. Guys, good morning. We'll wait for a few people to join us before we explain what we're doing today. But essentially we're going to do a history walk with our resident historian on Winstanley Walks, James Hornby. He's a historian in terms of he's interested in history, and he's also spent this time off work doing a heck of a lot of research. So we're going to go for a walk in a moment. We're starting off outside Blundell's Wood entrance, which is just off Ravenswood Avenue, down that way. What did that used to be called, James? First question.
The path.
The path.
Watkins Brow.
Watkins Brow. And I think the path itself changed into a set of steps around about the 1970s.
70s, early 80s, yeah.
Right, okay, and that's when the estate was built, wasn't it? So we're going to go down the steps in a minute. We're going to have a look around. James has got a few bits and pieces we need to talk about along the way. So please say hello in the comments, and don't forget, if you've got any questions for the big man, put them on. Alright, we'll see you shortly. Right, James, lead the way, buddy. Off we go. Can I just comment on your attire this morning, by the way? Them wellies are awesome. We need to get you some walking boots, pal.
I've got some, but I thought it would be full of mud, so I thought I'll put my wellies on.
Well, it rained last night, didn't it?
Yeah.
So Watkins Brow.
Yeah.
And these steps, I think there's like, is it 75 steps all the way down? I counted them, that's the only reason why I know.
I don't know.
But we've chosen a good day for this because it's very windy today.
Yeah.
But for those who are watching, if you go left, that's Pony Dick, and what's right? What's that way, James?
Blundell's Wood.
Blundell's Wood. What is there a name for the water treatment area? That field? Is there a name for it?
I can't find anything on it.
It used to be part of the mining.
It was part of the mining, and it always has been. It's just Blundell's Wood and Smithy Brook.
Smithy Brook.
That's it.
Didn't you tell me the other day that might have been called Smithy Brook Estate?
Yeah.
That's on your deeds, isn't it?
It's on my deeds, yeah.
Yeah. So Smithy Brook Estate is essentially Ravenswood area, Melrose, that kind of thing. So we're heading downhill now to the Smithy Brook Bridge. And James told me earlier on about the bridge. It never used to be like that. What was it like beforehand? It
was like a stone bridge, sort of a stone-built bridge out to the quarry stone.
And was there something about was Winstanley or something inscribed on there, and it was scratched off during the war?
Oh, that's Rounds Mill Bridge. That
was on Pony Dick.
Yeah, Pony Dick. That's Rounds Mill Bridge.
Right.
It's nothing to do with this bridge. That.
Right. But I think the original Smithy Brook, the outline of the water was a lot windier at one point.
I'll tell you something about Smithy Brook as well. A long time ago, probably about the 1600s, it used to be that clean. It was full of fish. And,
trout.
Yeah, and then it was polluted by the mines. The black out of the pits polluted it, and then never been fished again.
When I was a kid, I remember there was quite a lot of orange water coming down. Is that through oxidation?
That's oxidisation off the mines.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. But it's nice and clean now, eh?
Yeah. Well, there's a gully down there. If you see it, there's no water coming out. You see it at the side, stone built.
Yeah.
That used to carry water from the pits as well.
Right, okay.
But obviously the pits have stopped now, and there's nothing coming out of it. You'll probably get trickles from the land, but that's stone built. There's actually another one further down, which is a bit demolished.
So just past that pink bush over there.
That's it. Yeah, you'll see it on the left.
So that was a gully coming down, was it?
Yeah. So all the drains from probably the pits and round here all come out here, and that's probably what at the beginning polluted it as well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Okay, we're going to continue on. Can I just say, James, as well, you smell very nice today.
It's Creed.
Crude?
Creed.
It's like smell-o-vision.
And who's swinging on this? Because
whoa!
I can't reach that.
Yeah, well, I came down earlier on this morning and I thought James could give us a bit of a swing on there, but he might snap that, so we'll not do that.
Right here, on your left, apparently there was a two up, two down stone cottage, concrete floors,
no way.
Concrete roof built here, and that was demolished in the 60s, that late 60s. I've nothing on it. I can't find it on any plans or anything like that. But I've been told. I was told by my nan, and I was told by my mum as well. And
this is the conker tree. Used to throw sticks up here, mate.
Well, if you look under the undergrowth, though, there is some concrete. You might see it poking through. You'll probably not pick it up on there. That was the floor around here. And don't be fooled as well.
I can get through here. I don't know if you can.
Don't be fooled because some of the trees are not as old as you think.
Right.
Some of them are fast growing. See?
Oh, yeah.
There's concrete
like
here.
Stone foundation.
Yeah, there's apparently they were dotted round. There was a couple down here.
Yeah.
And there's probably a couple here. But that's they were probably just people made their own houses and just lived here.
Right.
That's it for the mine. During the miners' strike as well, in the 20s, the reason why the land's like this, and you can see some coal, they come down picking their own coal, and then they used to go and sell it, and whatever's left. They had a deal with Blundells, so they can make some money.
Make some money, right?
Yeah.
During the war, that was?
1920s, during the miners' strike.
Right, okay, right. Oh, right, during the strike, so they could actually still do some mining.
Yeah, so they did it in here because the mines were shut, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go.
So they were striking, not footwork, but they carried on working.
Shall we just... We were going to go straight up the path, but shall we just nip down here and we'll have a look at a few other bits. So how long have you lived in Winstanley, James?
Winstanley, the area.
Well, the area.
The area, 42 years, all my life.
All your life. Were you brought up on Foundry Lane, that area?
Foundry Lane, Woodbury Drive, yeah.
So I remember when I was a kid coming down here at nursery, there was an old greenhouse.
Yeah.
A white structure with white framed structure with glass.
These are basically the foundations.
And that's the foundations there. And above that there was an old house.
Yeah, that was at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
So basically, well, these are actually quite wide because there's one there and there's one a bit further. If you can walk down there and here, the greenhouses, I think there was about 2 or 3 in a row.
Right.
It was quite wide. And then there was a pathway at the end. I remember you went up to the house at the top of the hill. There was a gate at the top, and then it took you to the house. Right. His name was Colin, who lived there.
Colin?
Colin.
Did you know him?
I know him because I worked in the scrapyard.
Okay.
And I used to go and help him moving stuff as well when I worked in the scrapyard. So I used to come down and then I'll help him move stuff.
We saw, I think I saw some steps here the other day.
That's on the next one. That.
Oh, is that on the next one, is it? Yeah.
I come down here and took some photos of it.
Yeah.
But that's on the next one.
So, these are the foundations, I guess?
Yeah.
Of the...
Like I'm telling you now, trees look old, but they're not as old as you think because obviously the greenhouses were here.
Yeah, yeah.
So these
trees
must
only be like 20 25 years old, something like that?
Yeah. So they're not as old as you think.
Yeah. We've got quite a few people to say hello to, James, so we'll just do that whilst we're just here. Yeah. So good morning to Lisa, to Paul, Elaine, Dot, how you doing? Brian, good morning, thanks for joining us. Janice, Danny, Christine, mother-in-law's on. Samantha, good morning. Dot Taylor says, 70s I had to cling to the trees on my way to the station. So on a way down the path there. Morning Matt, morning Phil, Sheila, how you doing? Emma's on, morning.
Yeah, I think all these steps were only built in the 80s. I remember coming down with my mum when I was probably about 5 or 6, and I remember coming down and I remember people working, putting the wooden paths and everything.
Oh right, okay.
The BMX track, this is a bit later. This was made by a lad called Dylan off the Winstanley estate, who ended up becoming a pro BMXer in America.
Really?
And he's still there now.
Wow. For those who've just joined us, Emma is asking, just missed the beginning, where did you start from? So we're just off Ravenswood, going down the steps that cuts through over to Foundry Lane. Morning Liz Aspinall, morning Liz Sheriff, morning Karen, Kim, and everybody else. Frank and Linda, how you doing? Kim says, the old haunted house with the green hand. Did you hear about the green hand?
I've heard somebody else mention it, but
Somebody says
I think it's just folklore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, clearly.
I can't find anything else on it.
The house up there, apparently, I remember Kim mentioning
Are they
this.
on about Wood Cottage or are they on about Brook House?
I think it was Brook House and had a green hand in it.
I don't know. I never remember. I went in that house when he lived in it. I don't remember a green hand in the window.
She says this was a rumour when I was a child. Used to frighten me to death.
And it used to have a cracking wine cellar as well.
You had a wine cellar?
A steel door, steps. As you went in through the front door.
Yeah.
Not the back. The back. That was the front. Well, actually, that was the front. The back end. We used the back end as the front. And as you went through the back, there were steps going down. There was a steel door, and there was like it was very cold. So it would have been probably meat storage at one time. But he had wine in there and stuff like that.
Oh, belting. A few more hellos. Good morning to Pat and Alan Pete. Tracy, Baz. Right, let's go on. Did Colin have teeth missing? Strange question, but I remember a man with no teeth.
Possibly, yeah. He was very thin, short. Always had 2 Dobermans with him. He did have a Great Dane at one time. He always had his dogs. If he was all right and kept himself to himself, he was okay. But if you come down at night messing about, that was it then. He'd let the dogs on you.
Right, so we head up the path now. So if you have just joined us, we're doing a history walk this morning.
You could see the steps last time, but it's that overgrown now.
Yeah, it is.
The other week.
Yeah. Maybe once the summer's over, we'll be able to see a little bit more of it. But there's evidence here of other buildings in the woods, as James has pointed out. But we'll head back up the path now on the opposite side, going up to Foundry Lane. And James is kind of area where he grew up. But I remember when I was a kid walking up this, even as I think a young teenager, there was a scrapyard on the left, and that's where you used to work.
This wall is new, but it's always been a wall.
Okay.
This is the boundary. There was always a wall, and this was basically there was garages. There was a garage here before you got to Colin's house. There was a garage behind there, a couple of garages that come down to here, and this is the boundary. This is where the scrapyard was on the left.
Yeah. All the cars stacked up.
The fence is exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. So it was an old, like corrugated steel.
Corrugated steel, which there's bits of it lying in the woods.
Is there?
Here, the borderline is exactly the same. There used to be a wooden door here.
That's right, a wooden door. Yeah, I remember that.
It was always locked, but you could go through there.
And what did that lead to? One of the garages, or to?
Just one of the garages, the side of the garages. That was it.
Right.
The entrance to the scrapyard was about just before the L. It was about here.
Yeah.
There was double steel doors. That was the scrapyard.
I remember the dog.
Yeah, he had a few dogs.
They had a few dogs. Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about one of them. Someone drugged them and then robbed the place.
You're joking?
Yeah. Andy had one robbed as well.
No way.
The dog. We found it.
Wow.
Obviously all. This was a scrapyard. I can't tell you what was there before. I just know it was a yard all the time.
I remember coming down here again as a kid, and there was just after the scrapyard there was a couple of big trees. I wonder if these are still here.
The original trees then.
Right. Okay.
I remember them. Well, here was another white building.
A white building.
Right. It weren't the White House and it weren't Wood Cottage.
Right.
It was just probably just an office at one time, or just a workshop.
Yeah.
It was the gas place that what blew up in the early 90s, 80s, exploded.
Yeah.
That was that, and that's when John took it over.
Right.
He then widened the scrapyard.
So the scrapyard was called Todd's, is that right?
No. Todd's was over here. Which
so,
I'll point at when we come out onto the road. I'll point where Todd's was.
What was the scrapyard called? Did it have a name?
Speedwells.
Speedwells?
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
Speedies.
Yeah, Speedies.
Right, where these big trees are now behind you.
Yeah.
This is where Wood Cottage was.
Right, okay.
Now, John Speedwell, John Rogers, who owns Speedwell, John Speedwell, he's got a picture of it, and I'm trying to get hold of him to get a picture. He's got a picture what he took.
Okay.
It was behind these trees here.
Right.
And right corner of Cat's Gym.
Yeah, Cat's Gym was just here, wasn't it?
This is basically the road that went down, and that was the road that turned into the yard behind Cat's Gym.
Yeah.
So you had Cat's Gym. Alan Peter will know this. Austin O'Donnell had his wood storage yard next to Cat's Gym behind there. And then you had Wigan Car Paints, which was a garage, small garages dotted about. Then at the side of that, there was a straight wall. It weren't always a wall, it was a straight cut through at one time, but they bricked it up. That was Todd's behind there. They used to do plant machinery, demolition, everything. And there was a bungalow.
It was a bigger estate than what you actually saw, really.
It was massive. It was massive. There was a bungalow type building, which was the coal board office.
Really?
They took it over after Blundell's left. The coal board took over in late 40s, I think.
Okay.
There was a nice bungalow. It could have been a house at one time, but I can't find any name on it. But it was a bungalow, and it had a weighbridge at the side of it.
Right.
As well. There was about 3 weighbridges. There was one on Foundry Lane, a weighbridge. There was one here. I think there was one further down.
Right.
But this was the entrance, and basically these are where Cat's Gym was.
Yeah.
And here was Wood Cottage.
Wood Cottage.
Now behind that, there was a street coming down behind it.
Yeah.
And behind that was Wild's houses.
Right.
And behind there was Wood Cottage. I remember after the cottage was knocked down, the outside toilet was there for years, and the brick wall with the gate. And when you went through that gate, Wild's houses were there, and at the end of it there was a grain mill, which, you know, the old bridge in the woods.
Yeah.
That one that's listed, that led up to that. I can't remember the name of that mill.
We'll walk past that afterwards, won't we? Yeah.
That's where Wild houses were.
Right.
I'll show you where the entrance was.
Yeah. Well, this path essentially traces
this
the
is
same.
the road.
This
is
the road, isn't it? So
it
was a lot wider than this when.
Yeah, it was wider.
Wagons have come down here.
Obviously, it's probably up to that house.
Yeah.
There, and that's where that was corner Cat's Gym.
Yeah. Wow. And what were those old buildings originally? Because Cat's Gym, I guess, wasn't built as a gym.
No, they were just little factories, metalwork. They basically did all the making nails for Blundell's pits.
Well, there was a lot of.
There was a there was a joiners next door to Cat's Gym, and I don't know how long they were quite old when I knew them, and they had old wood machinery in there.
Right.
So that could have been a joiners for the Blundell's, making, you know, beams and carts, whatever. Boxes.
Well, I remember looking at a census from like 1940s. Oh, sorry, the 1840s.
Yeah.
And the amount of nail makers that were in the area, there was loads.
Winstanley Hall was the nail makers as well in the barn. Now, this again, the line here, the fence. What's here? That was the road, edge of the open cast.
Yeah.
Todd's was down there at the bottom.
Right.
There used to be a couple of petrol pumps down there for the trucks and
that.
Well, Cat's Gym. There was a joiners. There was a chemical place. They used to make bleach and stuff like that. A couple of empty units who were always empty. When I remember, people used to fix cars and whatnot.
But again, a lot bigger than what you actually saw when you walked down this way, isn't
it? There was actually units on the other side of the fence. What was there from Blundell's?
Yeah. So we're going from Foundry Lane now up towards the main road, Billings Road. And I remember kind of coming around this bend, and there was a big brick wall with a fence in the middle of it.
This here was there was a stone building here, which was white again.
Yeah.
Which was basically a builder on it. Here were the garages. That was the entrance to Wild's houses.
Right.
The street going down there. It was a proper street.
Yeah. But this, from what I recall, in the late 80s, they had all kinds of like pallets stacked up high and wagons.
This is the next part.
So that's the next bit, is it?
Yeah. Right. This the entrance here. Let me just weigh it up now. Probably about right. This entrance here is we used to call it Harry's Yard. The old guy used to run it was called Harry. It was actually called Foundry Yard.
Foundry Yard.
That yard, what was here, was the site of the original main mill, which the first mill that was there was called, it was Wild's. That's where Wild's had his mill.
Okay.
Main mill took it over. It caught fire twice.
Right.
And that's when they decided to make a brick wall on the land.
Yeah.
And make the reservoirs as well, emergency water, just in case. Because the first mill they made was wooden.
Right.
And there used to be a big turntable that used to turn locomotives on the back out. Because there was tracks.
There was rail tracks all up and down here, wasn't there? Yeah. I mean, when you look at it back on this area, the open cast area, there was so many track lines leading down towards Wigan. And
well, before they built these houses, not long ago, I had a walk over and they unearthed some of the tracks.
Did they? Right.
There was a big pit shaft here, massive, that they've covered over. There you go.
Okay. Well,
And yeah, so that we always called it Harry's Yard, and that was only pulled down probably in 1997.
Right.
So it was there till quite a while.
so staying true to the
Stranger Lane's the same, exactly. It was a bit narrower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm trying to remember the width of it. I can't remember if it was narrower or it's just deceiving because of the tarmac. No, it's the same width. It's exactly the same width. It's because they've put a lay-by here with the cars.
Right. Okay.
Right. Now we're coming to the entrance of Main Mill.
So if you look at some of the street names around here as well, they're all kind of, to a degree, related some way to the history of the place, and it's refreshing, really.
Yeah, it's named after people who live around
So
here.
this is Blundell's.
This is Main Mill. This is the entrance to Main Mill, which is Blundell's Court.
Blundell's Court, and
That's Main Mill.
That's Blundell's Way, I think. That one next door to it, on that side.
Possibly, yeah, I'll have to. But that's the entrance to Main Mill. The canteen was on the right where these houses, new houses are.
Yeah.
My mum's house backs onto it. That was the canteen for Main Mill, and the Main Mill factory was on the left there, and that was demolished 1985, I think it was, and then the chimney was about 88, was it?
Right.
88, I can't remember. I remember watching from primary, it was just before like primary school.
I remember you telling me the other week that there's still a big crack in your mum's house.
Yeah, back
From
when they blew the chimney. Yeah.
From when they blew the chimney up.
Yeah, it's still there at the back.
But yeah, you can actually get down that way, down to
Yeah, Clevedon Drive.
Clevedon Drive. Takes you down past the back of the cricket ground. Just see if we've got any comments coming in. Oh, we've got loads of comments. Carol and me played in the woods as kids, Janet says. Carol, nail makers usually work from home. The new estate is named after people who worked on the mines. Thank you, Emma. Sue remembers big dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
I got stopped by an Alsatian on this road.
Yeah,
It's a big
it was to
Alsatian.
the Harry's Yard.
Was it?
His dog, and it was called Max.
Was it called Max?
It was Max, I remember the
Was
name.
it? There you go.
You know, it was the softest dog you've ever known.
Well, I remember walking up here.
He lived here, he never went home, he stayed here.
Did it?
Yeah.
I remember I think I was about 8, and I wasn't much bigger than what I am now, and the size of an 8-year-old basically.
Yeah, it was a big dog. I stopped and I was watching through.
I was walking down. I'll tell you exactly where it were. It was probably.
It looked like a wolf, didn't it?
Yeah, it was massive, and I was carrying my scorebook for the cricket,
Yeah.
and I was walking down here, and this dog was just like eyeballing me,
Yeah,
stood in the
that's
middle
all
of the
it
road, and it didn't budge, and I kind of had to avoid it and walk around it, you know. But yeah,
Max, his name was.
Max.
The guy, Harry, is still alive.
Is he?
Yeah, he lives
Is
at
he?
Pemberton. Do you know where Crop Shop is on behind the White Swan? What
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
be there?
yeah.
There's a road outside, a bit round just before Pem Tyres.
Yeah.
He lives in one of them.
Right.
And he used to let me drive trucks on here when I was 14.
We won't tell the authorities that.
He
Eh?
taught me how to drive.
Did he?
Well, he was unadopted here.
Yeah.
And the wife's uncle, who's a traffic bobby, he's come down seeing John Speedwell.
Yeah.
And he used to always say, as soon as you go onto the Billings Road there, I'm going to have you.
Right.
But we used to just drive over the tips and then fill up at the farm across there.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Melting. Yeah, so the entrance to May Mill and Blundell's Court there, a huge building of its time.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the biggest mills at,
Yeah, it was.
at the time, wasn't it, in the land?
I think it was the last working cotton mill of the area.
So that's what it was actually a cotton mill?
Yeah, and then in the 60s it was took over by Coast Lords.
Okay.
And they were making fabric for carpets. That's the last time it did anything here, this bungalow, that's the Blundell's Arms. That's where it was.
So the Blundell Arms were
That's
that?
it. That's
right,
it.
Right.
That was knocked down for that bungalow, and behind it was the field. It was a bowling green and recreation yard for Main Mill at one time.
That's where the tennis courts were,
Yeah.
and the bowling green and things.
Blundell Arms was took over in I think it was the 70s and 80s by the Mull Railway Club.
Right. Wow.
That's it. Then it was demolished in early 90s.
Yeah.
Well, that's Blundell Arms here.
There you go. So the Blundell Arms
That's it.
pub,
Yeah.
that's where it used to be, and there was a bowling green
All the
behind
old
it.
brick here at back. That's probably out of the might be original
No
because
way.
it had stone there. Yeah.
I don't like peering in somebody's
Possibly.
garden, but
It's empty anyway.
looks empty anyway. I think they've moved out and they're selling. But yeah, there's probably some old stone from Blundell arms.
Because there used to be an old brick wall there, and I remember it, so that possibly might have been made out of it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it's old stone, that.
You got to embellish a few of the stories, haven't you?
Yeah. This is Alan Pete's lad's old house.
Yeah. So, were these houses built for any particular reason?
It was just built as an estate.
Just a little estate.
They were built. I could be wrong here, but Barton Builders built Winstanley Estate, and the dormers at near Stag, they all the same. I think Barton built these houses as well.
Right.
No, it was just built Woodbrook Drive. That was it.
Woodbrook Drive. Is that where your mum lives?
Yeah.
Top end.
Yeah.
Are we calling him for a Okay.
I'll call around.
Somebody's lost a shoe. If anybody's lost a shoe, there you go. There's no foot in it. But so we're just walking up towards the end of Foundry Lane. Obviously, we've got is it known as the open cast area?
The open cast on that side. This was originally a grazing field, as I've read, at one time, a long time ago. So there was never no pits on this side. It was a grazing field for the horses.
I remember seeing horses in the back of these fields when I was a kid.
Gypsies.
Ah, right, okay.
The gypsies. Yeah. No, Foundry Lane.
Travellers, mate, travellers.
Sorry, or pikers. There you go. Right, Foundry Lane. It was made with hard stone and cobbles for the reason that trained the horses for when they were down the pits and dragging, and they blindfolded them while they were training them because they were working in dark down the pit.
No way.
And this was a training track. That's where they used to train them.
Wow.
But they were kept really well. The horses apparently the best ever.
They looked after them.
They were well looked after.
Good. Okay. Right, a little bit further up now. There's a really nice house here on the left.
Schoolhouse.
Is that what it was, the schoolhouse?
This is a schoolhouse now. I keep getting references on different archives and sites that it might have been called Foundry Lane House at one time.
Foundry Lane House.
Because I can't find anything else on the maps or anything that say where there's another house on the estate. So this is the schoolhouse.
That's a lovely building, isn't it?
Yeah. It is grade 2 listed as well. Yeah, schoolhouse there, 1867.
1867. Again, I don't want to be filming close-ups of people's houses, but there's a little plaque on the side there that says Schoolhouse 1867.
She's still got the original stone tops on there.
Yeah, those are originals, yeah.
Now this, on the left here, was the old Blundell's Iron School, they used to call it. Iron Church, or Iron Church. It was a school and a church all in one. That's where it was on here.
It started as a Sunday school,
that was it,
yeah.
They'd never done anything with the land really. It used to be a garden, it used to be nice at one time.
Yeah.
They used to put flowers in there and that, but they've not done anything with it.
Well, again, I remember that.
It wouldn't surprise if they end up building on it, to be honest, because
I remember that iron.
All these railings are original.
Yeah, they are. And
the gate's still here.
And they used to come down here on this side as well, didn't they? They used to be here. I'm pretty sure they did. But it was a big old building, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few pictures on there. There's a good one on Founded on Call where they've took the picture from Enfield Street.
Yeah.
And it shows you the front end, the side of the building, and then Iona after it.
Yeah. Right, let's keep walking around. So we're now on to Billings Road. I've got a couple of comments.
Rylance Mill Lane, as they used to call it.
Rylance Mill Lane?
Yeah.
Did it, really?
Yeah, that's what it used to be called.
Right, well, we'll just stop here for a second and let this person carry on walking. We'll just go through some of the comments. Right, so we're up to Elaine Monks' comment. Maybe it's Harry, I remember all going over the cricket field from St Matthew's School to watch the chimney demolition.
Harry not about Harold Gaskell.
Kim remembers the siren going off.
Yeah. People used to set it off as well at night.
Did they?
It used to sound like there was a nuclear bomb ready to go off. I had my house backed onto it.
Right.
To tell you how close Maymell Factory was to my house, my bedroom window was that bungalow there.
Yeah, and that was it.
That was it, and you used to get people throwing trolleys off the roof and everything.
Right. So we've got my dad used to work shifts, and the noise drove him mad.
Yeah.
Louise says, thanks ever so much for arranging this, Chris and James. It's really interesting. I've lived just off Foundry Lane and often wondered about the history of the woods behind us. Having played on the tips as a child, it's fascinating to hear these stories. Keep up the good work, and thanks again. Emma Davis remembers the cobbles on Foundry.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. They were there till mid-90s.
Mid-90s. Yeah. Sheila Lloyd says, I can remember when we lived in Cadogan Drive, there was a fire at the scrapyard and the stored gas cylinders were exploding.
It weren't the scrap.
We didn't know what it was and walked to the near St Aidan's and could see the massive flashes and hear the explosions as they blew up. What was that exactly?
Next door to the scrapyard was a gas
storage.
Gas storage. They used to fill gas bottles, a bit like the gas places now.
Caligas type.
Caligas sort of thing. Someone had petrol bombed it and blew it up.
Were they shooting up in the air?
Yeah, one landed on Main Mill, that close.
You're joking?
Yeah, honestly. They were firing up like missiles going up in the sky. But the problem was, because of the pits underneath and the cellars of Main Mill factory, it resonated. So it was like a bang, you know,
like an echo type of thing.
Yeah, like a really bad rock. Like there's an earthquake coming. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And then that's when the scrapyard took it over after that.
Phil Turner says, how come it's called Foundry Lane? I'm guessing, was there a foundry there at one point?
Possibly. I've checked. It doesn't tell me anything.
Okay.
There possibly was at one time, because the date of this area goes back probably 400 years, 500 years. So.
Yeah. Just going through more comments. Diane Powell says, love this. Alan Pete says, the original Sunday school was there.
Yeah, that's it.
When did the building go? The old schoolhouse? When did this get demolished, do you reckon?
Again, I can't find a date on it.
But we've got photographs of it. So
that would have been probably demolished round about when the church was built, just before 1900.
Right, okay.
Because they would have transitioned into there.
Yeah.
I think the nursery was built round about that time as well, and St Matthew's School.
The original Sunday school was a building near Four Lane Ends, which is Little Lane, Tunstall Lane, on the left past the Hare and Hound. So there was another one down there apparently.
Right, possibly, yeah.
The original Sunday school. Is there still cobbles outside the front of the old nursery? I think there is.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So we're going to have a look.
I'll just tell you a quick one about this at front of the nursery.
Sure, yeah.
There was a row of houses here.
Where the trees are?
Yeah, you can look them up. It's on Wigan World. Somebody's put a picture on. They were called the slate houses because they weren't made out of brick, but they were full slate.
Right.
And then at the end, there was a grey building called Duck Pond Hall.
Duck Pond Hall?
Duck Pond Hall. Is it Duck Pond or Duck Foot Hall? I could be confused. It could be Duck Pond or Duck Foot Hall. That was at the grey building then. All these got demolished. They saved that because it was Grade 2 listed because of the arches. The arches were transferred to that house, and then that's what was listed. It has some significance on it. The only reason why they got demolished is because somebody burnt them down in the mid-90s. The hall. It weren't very big. It was just probably the size of your normal detached 4-bed house, but probably then it was massive.
So this was my old nursery.
Yeah.
I remember my peg and everything. It was peg number 4 and it had a plane on it. Did you go here?
I didn't go there, no.
Did you not? No. Not posh enough.
I just didn't want to go to school.
There's a pheasant about to get run over down there.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we just nip over and just have a look at the area? There's a pheasant stopping the traffic over there.
There might be some stone ruin in these trees here because the outbuildings were here.
So these have seen some years, haven't they?
Yeah.
These old cobbles.
But you can see where the border of the garden of the houses come up to. They actually come up.
All right, so that's where the border was.
Yeah, the lane followed the edge of the wall here, so obviously it's overgrown.
Yeah.
That's stopping all traffic.
Yeah, it's stopping all traffic. Stopped. There's a pheasant. Yeah. So, any information on the? Go on. Oh wow. Oh, yeah. See what you can find there. Some old originals.
These were the slate houses.
Okay. I'm just getting a good shot of the wellies there.
Yeah, the cracked Dunlops.
Sports Direct special.
I don't have enough money for the better ones. Duck Pond Hall as well. The guy, I think his name was Ken G, lived there. He used to run the railway pub as well.
Okay. It's all connected,
G
isn't
family.
it?
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. So, what about Little Foxes, that building?
Right, Iona.
Is that what it's known as, Iona?
That Iona House, yeah. It used to be called.
You own a house, or I own a house?
Iona. Ivory House, it used to be called.
Right, okay.
And that's all I can find on it. Nothing else on it. It was just someone well-to-do high up lived in it.
Yeah, well, maybe if anybody's got any information about that, let us know. Okay. Do you want to nip to... we'll carry on down here, we'll get a good shot of the church. Is that one at Bikers?
Yeah. You used to work for me.
All right. We'll go around that side.
No, I only know roughly the day when it was built, and there's not much else about it. Blundell donated the land, donated the church and the the land to the area.
Wasn't the church built in memory of his wife?
Yeah, in memory of his wife, because she died relatively young.
That was Beatrice. And there's a stone plaque on the inside.
Yeah.
To say that it's, in memory of Beatrice. And a bit of information. Hopefully we'll be getting in there soon.
There was another section as well. It was a lot smaller than what it was.
That's right. I think this is the extension part, isn't it? This bit.
They had to prop. They did it crudely. They propped the roof up with big wooden beams when they took all the brickwork down, so it was all open.
Yeah.
And then they added the extension. I think that was around about 1920. I could be wrong there, but I know it was a bit later on. It was extended.
But it's a beautiful building.
Because the area was growing as well.
Is it sandstone, that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. This, he special ordered the brick. It had to be a certain brick, certain sand, and a certain cement that he used. It had to be top quality to last. All the beams inside are made out of oak.
Right.
Everything's oak inside.
Let's go around and see if we can see any bits and pieces. I think they're doing some maintenance on the yard at the moment, so we won't go too far in, but we'll just have a quick meander. So you can see that's the estate there. The gate's open. We'll just go down towards where the tennis courts used to be, on the cricket ground. And as you guys know, we're doing a little feature on the cricket club, which I should have finished by next week, fingers crossed. Sue says that a lot of the plants inside the church came from my grandma's garden. Tony Jenks planted them. Grandma gave them to him after we lost Grandad. Well, there you go. I remember Tony Jenks. I remember his wife as well. She was my teacher in primary school.
Oh, Mrs. Jenks, yeah.
Mrs. Jenks.
My teacher in primary school, yeah. Mrs. Jenks.
Mrs. Jenks.
I still see, is it Mrs. Holcroft?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still see her. That's my dad's grave though, just on the other side.
Oh, is it?
Just really past it. Grandma's the other way. Right here, the brick wall.
Woo,
here.
it's windy.
Brick wall. Just give you a quick mention. There's from this kind of, there's a cast iron pipe leading from the Venture Lodge all the way down to Main Mill, and then it goes off as well to get rid of the overflow water from Venture.
Alright, so that used to run through here,
it's
is it?
still there, apparently it's still underneath.
Right.
They never got rid of it.
Right. So the tennis courts ran.
They were a bit further down, the tennis courts, I remember them. They were on the left hand side.
Yeah. Back in the day there used to be some old concrete nets, because don't forget the field's been extended.
Yeah, no, that's
so the field only used to come up to this entry, I think.
There used to be a row of trees, lots of small ones, didn't there?
And there was some ponies in there and things like that. So let's go back out the cricket ground and we'll do some further walking down the way.
That's my granddad's bench.
That's your granddad's bench, is it?
So, yeah.
No way.
That's my granddad. That's my nan.
So that's your granddad?
That's my dad there. It's dad's name, yeah.
And that's your nan? Wow.
And that's my dad.
And that's your dad? Oh, lovely.
44 when he died.
Right, right. You know the... That's the one. Oh, is it? Not relative. No, his mum and dad had one place.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a cracking picture of May Mill from the graveyard.
Yeah, there is. I've seen it.
Looking in that direction.
Yeah, with Woodbury Drive.
Yeah, and a lot of these taller.
Well, Woodbury Drive was originally part of Acker's farm.
Right.
Cleveland Drive.
Okay.
That was Acker's. It was part of Acker's field.
Yeah. But a lot of these original stones that are in were in that photograph.
Yeah.
It's right. So we're just heading out of the yard now, back to the front of the church. And we're going to head past the vicarage. St Matthew's Close, didn't that used to have some of the buildings on?
That was Highfield House.
Highfield House.
That should have been grade. That was grade 2 listed, but before they published it, it was grade 2 listed. They ripped it down and they built this estate on it. Okay. It was right at the bottom. Yeah. It had an orchid with it and everything.
It had an orchid?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Right.
But that was Highfield House. It was white and I forget a blood on it as well. You know, a bit like a Tudor style house.
Yeah.
It looked more like a farmhouse more than anything, but it was right at the bottom.
So it was right at the bottom of St Matthew's Close.
Them trees probably original, something backing on there.
Yeah, yeah. There's some nice artwork there. Heroes Don't Fly. They work for the NHS, and we've just had one of those tune in. Karen Gregory. He's been working this morning. The vicarage itself, the building.
Moved out now, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's. I think it's up for rent, or it is being rented, or something like that. But it's a colossal building, and the gardens and everything about it's
1913. It was built.
1913. Impressive.
Colonel Blundell donated the land as well for that.
Yeah.
Actually, it was his nephew who donated the land.
Okay.
That was in memory for Colonel Blundell.
Right.
Now the church was Colonel Blundell to his wife.
Yeah. So we're just passing St Matthew's Primary School.
There is pictures on Wigan World of the original school on there as well, which is like in a Victorian style building.
Yeah. I think that was that still there until like the 90s?
I never remembered it. No, I remember the old asbestos building at the back.
Yeah, that's when I was there. Yeah.
But when I come here, it was this. When I started here, it was just being built. It was because it was the infants. That's juniors, isn't it?
Yeah.
The asbestos was the infants. I never remembered the original one.
Right. So we're just coming onto the ground now. I'm intrigued whether these are original.
I'd say so, yeah.
Cast iron gates. I don't even think they move anymore, but I can't remember the last time they were shut. But they're still there. You see that sign over there? It says Highfield Cricket Club on it.
Jack of all trades.
Get everywhere, me, mate.
Jack of all trades.
I designed the logo as well. So heading towards the venture now.
There, the cart's there, it is there.
Oh, it is too? Yeah, let's cross
You know,
over and
I
have a
always
look.
forget. I don't know if it's the original one,
Right.
but there's always one there.
Right, we'll cross over. So they used to be on the right there.
This building here.
That's a new building, isn't it?
That used to be a canteen as well.
Yeah.
That was a canteen when it was the old school.
Turned into like a scout hut or something, didn't it, at some point?
I do remember having my school dinners in there when I first started.
Dr. Redmond and his daughter had their surgery at that house. It also had...
Which one? Which house?
It also had a tennis court.
It's the old canteen.
The old canteen? No, that's a different comment. So we were talking about the White House maybe, down there, the Iona. Just clarify for us, Clifford.
The Venture pub was built on the Venture Lodge.
And it's exactly the outline of the grounds, if you like, are exactly the same as the lodge. They were a weird shape, weren't they?
They were. The lodge that's built directly on top of the pond, the lodge. And Venture Pit is where them bushes are, where the phone box is. Apparently there's a cap underneath that.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, underneath where it's been capped off.
Yeah.
That's where the cap is. In the middle of the bushes. I've been told, I've never bothered looking.
So we're going to have a look?
Try and have a look again.
So we're not sure, but this says number 23 on it. We're not sure if it's an original, but
we're not sure.
It might be restored as an original.
Yeah,
It's
possibly.
certainly got some original looking pieces on it. Number 23, what do you reckon that would refer to? It won't be the pit, will it?
Just a cart, innit?
Just a
It's
cart.
probably how many carts they've got in it.
Apparently they used to send...
Like truck trailers have numbers on them.
They used to send not only coal, but men down in the carts to get down there.
And when they used to send them down at Blundell's as well, they had some in the lift going down, but someone stood on top of it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Health and safety didn't exist those days, did it?
When it used to be roped for let the lift down, you ought to always have somebody on top, make sure it doesn't get tangled up, or keep an eye it's not fraying.
Right.
Because if that starts fraying, you're a long way down.
Yeah. How deep were the mines? I mean, we were talking like...
They weren't that deep on Blundell's, because that's why they started mining here, because the coal's very close to the surface.
Yeah.
That's why they ended up open casting, because it's that close to the surface. It weren't massively deep, not like some in Yorkshire where they go down, you know, hundreds of feet.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that here.
So we're just going to head across. So there used to be a telephone box just on the corner there, an old BT thing, wasn't it? And that was the site of the Venture Pits. And you reckon there might be a cap?
Yeah, apparently I was always told there was a cap on here. It could be in the middle of these bushes here. That's why there's all the bushes there. I could be wrong. That's where I've been told. The cap in the middle of there. Where they just capped it off.
Yeah. What would they cap it off with? Like concrete or?
Concrete, steel top. They fill it first and then they cap it off. They don't leave it open.
Right.
But I don't think you're ever going to go in there and find it. Well, that's what I was told. Could be wrong. It could be underneath here because the bushes did come down here at one point.
Well, this was the site of the Venture Pit.
Yeah.
How far did it extend into the estate?
Yeah.
Did it go far, or is it a big place?
Not really massive, no. They all interlinked, the pits, the majority of the Winstanley.
Yeah.
And I don't know who owned this. Was it Blundell? I think
sure.
it was Blundell's pit. This one.
That's not it, is it? That?
No, it's just it's a manual. Then after that one was shut, they opened the new Venture Pit at Triangle Valve, which is still there, the cap. But they didn't have it open long because it flooded.
Right.
That was the big problem around here with water.
Yeah. Well, some of these houses were...
Acker's Farm.
Acker's Farm.
Acker's still living.
All right. Yeah.
So they still live around here.
We apologise if there's any audio problems today with the wind. It's a little bit blustery, but we'll be out of it again in a minute. So hoping...
I could be wrong here, but I think these houses on the right is Highfield View. I think the white one here that's extended at the front here, I think that's Highfield View.
Highfield View?
Could be wrong. There used to be a plaque on here.
Right.
I've tried to pinpoint it, but I'm sure that's Highfield View, that one.
Highfield View, okay.
It used to overlook Summer Sales and that. Summer Sales Cholera, which is down there where they built the new houses.
So Summer
They used
Sales...
to call it Just call it the pig factory.
The pig factory,
That's
yeah.
some sales pit,
So that's
yeah.
where those new houses are in the
That's
centre.
it, yeah.
Okay.
They tried to reopen that in the late 80s, you know.
Did they
They
really?
all kicked off here, yeah.
All right.
They were going to reopen it.
So where these bungalows are here, there was lots of farm buildings and things like that back in the time.
Farm,
and Acker's Farm. Was it known as Highfield Farm at all, or
I've been having a look on
just
the...
like locally?
No, there was a farm further down.
Right.
And I'm thinking that was Highfield Farm. A bit set back.
Tony Robbins is here doing some excavating. Time team. We'll have to get him.
I've tried to find information on this Highfield Farm. Now that I've always known it and looked at it, it's always said Acker's Farm. Now Highfield Farm, apparently there's another farm, there's a couple more farms around here.
Yeah.
And it could have been one of them. Obviously it's going back that far, there's not many pictures.
How old do you think these Tudory looking buildings are, these houses?
They're not, I think they're about similar ages like the vicarage and that.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking around about early 1900s, probably 1920s.
Yeah.
That sort of age. Some of them are not that old. But like I say, all these the teachers used to live in them and stuff like that.
All the teachers and
bank managers as well.
bank managers.
Because there always used to be local banks, didn't there, for the areas. People lending money and...
The Blundell family itself, as this is a Blundell walk, what have you found out about the Blundell family, the origins, where they come from?
Liverpool.
So Liverpool?
Scattered. It's like the Banks' family. It spreads all over the country. So you can be reading into something. I found this with the Winstanley family. Try and look it up, and then you'd be reading it for an hour, and you think they're not linked. You know what I mean? You've got to be careful. You're looking up. But the Blundells say with Liverpool.
Right. Okay. So Clifford says that Highfield View is adjacent to Duck Pond Hall, apparently.
All right. So I got Duck Pond Highfield View. That's the Iona House.
Is that Iona
which
House?
was Ivory House.
Right. We'll have to work on that and find out.
I'll have to look into it.
But a lot of these houses were on the pictures of the old Pony Dick.
These were classed as new houses as well. These
Were they? Yeah.
as well, yeah.
But Pony Dick Inn, the Pony Dick Inn, is that right?
Yeah, it's around here. I'll show you where it is now.
Where this bend is here at Ribersford Road. And,
so if you look at the date on these are not that old.
No.
That's 1906.
1906.
So you're probably looking at all these ones here, around about the same age. They were made for like colliery managers and farm managers and all the the bosses.
Not the nail makers. No, they were in the shacks in Pembrey. Or
now the land here on the left, it's never had anything built on it. It was for sports. Winstanley all used to do. They were into wrestling, tug of war. They used to do that on there.
So on this bit between the post box and the bridge.
The bridge. And they used to have a maypole there as well. That's where they used to keep it. It used to be stood in the middle, and that was it. Everybody used to think was there a pit on there or anything, but there was nothing on there.
Right.
This is where Pony Dick sat here, the entrance.
Right. Okay.
To Ribersford. This is where it was.
Just picture it for us. Give us an outline of the front of it, because I remember it kind of being at a bit of an angle from kind of there to there.
It was typical. It looked like a big old pub, white
Tudorish looking.
There was a big wooden fence. And that's it. It was a big old pub. It was a pub, wasn't it? It looked like a typical pub.
And was there anything connected to it at all? Any other?
It was a wheelwright. Before it was a pub, it was a whelwright.
What's that?
They used to make carts.
All right, okay.
And I posted a picture on of his lad. Stood at, it possibly could be here where it was. And they used to make truck.
So the horse and cart type carts, the big wheels.
Yeah, they made the wheels. Right. That's why they call the wheelwright.
Starkey's was a wheelwright on the left hand side. He also built the terrace houses on the right hand side. And Karen says, "Ooh, buy my house." There you go. So we're just coming up to Pony Dick now. And
this was a part. This was a part of Pony Dick Inn as well. This. here.
Right, okay, so this
You
section
can
as well.
still
So,
see,
so it came across the road from basically
yeah,
there.
it
It's
filled
quite a
all
big
this.
building.
If you look here, I had a read for it a couple of years ago. It's all over.
Just getting a shot of them wellies again.
Yeah, some of the old stonework there, see it?
All right, so that's like the foundation stone, if you like.
Old stoneworks and curbs and that, yeah.
Well, there you go. It runs all the way along that.
Yeah. There's a bit of it, not all of it.
Yeah. Well. So across there was a maypole sports area.
Used to do tug of war on the wrestling as well.
Blimey. We should start that up again at Winstanley shops. And this is the right-hand turn, which we've done a few times. We're not going to go down this today, but this is another walk. But
there used to be a track through here as well, a railway track.
A railway track?
Straight through, yeah.
Right, okay.
There's a picture, you'll see it, there's a track that went straight across and straight up there. This is not the original entrance to, well, it is, but this is where all the goods come in, the farming and everything. This is where banks come up here. The gatehouse was the driveway.
So the gatehouse is the building on the right, further up?
Yeah, that had the driveway all the way up to the hall.
Right.
So there was this entrance, that entrance, Brook Lane entrance, and there was an entrance at the top of Windy Harbour Hill. You could still see the poles and a big old green gate.
Yeah.
Apparently that was an entrance as well, a back entrance. That probably led to the farms and the mills.
And would this be original stone, do you think?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it looks like they've got the lifting holes there.
It got knocked through. The car went through it.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah, they had to rebuild it.
Right.
It all dropped into there, and they've had to rebuild it all.
All right, it's a bit of a drop, isn't it?
Yeah. If you go down there, the original pathway, you know, where people walk through there. Yeah. The original pathway was the edge of the wall.
Is that what that little bridge is? Cuts you
used to
across?
walk down here.
Yeah.
Over the behind here there's carp ponds. They've just redone them a few years ago, but I don't know if it's carried on with it. There's a waterfall into the street from it, an overflow. You just walk down here. I tried to get through last Sunday, but it's blocked off. You used to walk down there and then over the bridge and then into the woods.
Right. Let's cross over. We've got the opposite side of Pony Dip, which is, I think, more than likely the original stone.
It is, yeah. It's Brown's Mill Bridge, because it used to be called Brown's Mill Lane as well, not Billings Road. Brown's Mill as well, which was up there, but it's Brown's Mill Bridge. If you look underneath, it's scrubbed off Winstanley.
All right, so that's where it's scrubbed off.
That was scrubbed off. I don't know if it was Second World War, First World War.
Stop
for the war. So if anybody they didn't know where they were, because it was classed as Billings Road, they'll see this and think, hang on a minute, it's Rounds.
So that bit there
says Pemberton, and that says Winstanley.
No way.
That was scrubbed off.
Yeah, you can see the Y there.
Yeah. You can see the T.
Yeah.
Oh, when it's clean, no moss on it, you can see it clearly.
Yeah. Should we get a jet wash? Have a go. Is this one of the old drainage pipes original, do you think? Or because it looks original, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what's in it. I wouldn't say it's
there's
really
quite a few of these knocking around, isn't there?
I wouldn't say it's really as old as the bridge, that, to be honest.
Well, this is taking Smithy Brook, which runs, I keep on saying this, but keeps on, just to keep on reminding people that Smithy Brook starts... starts up at Orrell Water Park and ends up feeding into the River Duggy further down towards Wigan. So we're just heading up the road before we cut back into the woods again. You know Bobby Charlton used to live on the left here?
Yeah, I know that, yeah. I forgot to say that, yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, he used to play for... I didn't know he played for Wigan or anything.
I didn't know he played for Wigan, but I knew he lived here.
Do you like your sports, James?
I do like my sports, not really, no.
Me neither, I'm not a sports fan either.
I like trading, that's it.
Yeah. No, I don't like sports. I play golf, that's about it. So this is the gatehouse, is that right?
Yeah, Wigan Lodge.
Wigan Lodge. Is that what it's called, Wigan Lodge?
Wigan Lodge.
Right, okay.
That's the original entrance to Winstanley Hall.
Oh, it's got a sign on it.
You can tell with this, the posts and everything.
Yeah, the
there never used to be a brick wall there. Apparently it was bushes and I think a steam engine went past, spark come out of it, set it all on fire, so they had to build a brick wall.
Right.
That wall used to be white at one time. The building would have been white at one time, more or less.
Yeah,
It's changed colour because of pollution and...
Yeah. Well, Tim. Well, looks like they've got a delivery, so we'll head back.
Yeah.
So this section that we're going to walk through now, am I right in thinking there used to be mining works?
Pony Dick Drift Mine.
Drift mine.
Pony Dick. I've tried to pinpoint where it was exactly, but on the map it just shows a dot. Now, I've been told off a couple of people now where it is. We'll pass it in a minute.
I hope that's not a new persistent cough. And,
no, it's hay fever, mate.
Hay fever, you got hay fever. See, he's a unit, but he'll...
My eyes are itching and everything, my ears are itching.
You not take your Piriton before you came
Yeah,
out?
it doesn't work. It does to an extent, but not brilliant. Man.
So this is the path that leads you into Blundell's Wood or up to Costessie Way, running past what is now Goose Green Cricket Ground. I remember this is just an open field full of overgrown grass and things like that.
Yeah, Pony Dick, you'll see a mound on your right in a minute. Just behind the white fence. I believe the drift mine's still there, it's just capped off. Right,
okay. So that where those trees are on the right, let's just get a zoomed in shot of that, if I can.
If you want me to reference that Helen McCourt thing, I can... When they went down looking for Helen.
Yeah, so just behind us, that's a drift mine.
Drift mine, yeah.
What's a drift mine?
Basically, you just walk into it. It's just a drift. You go in. It's very shallow.
Okay.
It's a gradual descent when you go down. It's not a shaft. It's a drift mine.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Some dinosaur fossils around here, weren't there, at one point? So we'll head further down the path. So would this be included in the recreation area on the left? Or?
I remember coming down here when I was young and it was clear These trees are not very old.
Right.
Not very old. They've probably been planted and they've just grown wild, but it was clear. You could go through to Cleveland Drive though.
Okay.
Easy off the stream.
Yeah. Right, so the path leads you off to the right up to what's that road again? Costessie Way. Costessie Way. So up some steps, but we're going to go back into the woods to do a few more bits and pieces before we wrap up. Hope everybody's enjoying this new type of walk. It's something that me and James have been talking about for a week or two, but I appreciate his time this morning. I mean, you've got lots of time on your hands at the moment.
I don't know everything. It's just what I've been reading up on and what I remember. So, you know, I don't say I'm an expert or anything. It's just what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Everything I research as well. I try and not get it off Wigan World and other sites. Try and do my own. Try and find different things, different pictures, going in archives, thinking outside the box and looking in archives in different areas, because the Blundells, the Winstanleys, the Bankses are all over the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And it always reverts back to...
It's just trying to connect it all.
Yeah,
dots,
trying to connect it. The Winstanleys is the hardest because a lot of people adopted the name.
I think the Bankses did too, didn't they? The Bankses family.
Not as bad, but later on the Bankses, the name was adopted because the hall was passed to them so they took the name on.
Yeah, yeah. So just heading down the path now in the direction of our start point, really, going back towards the big steps. Was this at all ever part of the mines, or?
Yeah, Blundell's.
So this was Blundell's, all part of Blundell's.
The reason why it's all eroded away is because of, you know, like I say, during the Depression and the miners' strikes, they come in mining it away,
right.
making little caverns.
So that's what all the slopes are about, basically.
Before they did the open cast on Foundry Lane, there was loads of caverns knocking about. It's just about drainage from the estate and that.
Yeah. So does all the drainage off the streets come down into Smithy Brook?
Not all of it. Some of it does.
Yeah.
Because we've had the water board round recently, because there's some that should only be fresh water, really.
Yeah.
And not sewage, and there's sewage going in from the house, so they've been putting dye in people's houses and testing, flushing the toilet to see if it's coming through.
Really?
Randomly.
Right.
apparently something's happened somewhere and they can't trace it.
Right.
But yeah, there used to be little gullies, caverns everywhere where they've chiselled away.
Yeah.
There used to be an old guy who used to live on Woodbury called Stan, and up until he died, he must have died late 90s, early 2000s. Up until that day he went on the open cast picking his own coal.
Right.
An old little guy, if you remember him.
Right.
Little guy. You saw his little dogs with him. He'd go picking coal. And apparently, I was told he owned Cropper's Farm on Enfield Street at the end.
Blimey.
And he did make a lot of money out of it.
Right. A lot of these trees that are in the woods, I don't know what your...
Some are old, some are not, because they were destroyed through...
but it's predominantly oak.
Yeah.
The odd beech and things like
Some
that.
were uprooted when they were doing the mining.
See, there's another pipe down there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
That runs through.
Possibly the outer part, but I can't find anything about them. The estate's probably hacked into it to use it for drainage.
Yeah. So just round this bend, I think we'll come to the back of where May Mill was, and
the mill ponds.
The mill ponds. We used to call it the lodge.
Yeah,
is
the
that
lodge,
right?
mill pond, the reservoirs, everything.
It's weird how different people call it different things.
We used to call it the lodge.
It's like the woods up at the top, behind the shops, and that estate there. I used to call it the tips. That's what the tips were.
The tips to us was Fenja Lane. That's what we used to call
but other people know it as Baxter's. Other people know it as Gleedwood.
Yeah.
As long as we all know what we're talking about in the end, that's the main thing.
See, here's the original fence. You stop you going to the mill pond. You used to have it blocked off.
All right, okay. So those are original.
Yeah. You'll see it in a minute. The original fence. That's one of the original fence from when May Mill was built and that.
Right.
See that barbed wire there at the top, still on it.
Barbed wire? Oh yeah, so there is. We'll zoom in and have a look. You see on that pillar, there's probably can't see it because of the sun. There's barbed wire on there. It's weird the stuff you walk past and you don't realise that it's there. Do you know what I mean?
There used to be wooden walkways in here, but they've all gone now. You know what they put in the 80s to let people walk through. But regenerated because it was a mess apparently after Blundell's gone, because they never did anything with it for years.
Right.
Just left it a mess. No, here is the back of the mill pond.
So this is the first mill pond, is it?
Come down here, I took some photos of the edge of the stone, yeah. I don't know if you can walk down there, but you'll see some of the stone, a lot of them got nicked. Before, just as they were building this estate, they come down and people...
Well, I'll go down
because they cleared it.
If you want to follow me in.
Yeah, they cleared it and they nicked them because they're worth quite a bit.
I think there's a bee's nest here.
Oh yeah, you see it.
There's a lot of bees there, I don't know if you can see them.
But you can just see them through the...
Well, yeah, you can see the old fence line there. You can probably just make out the concrete area.
There's some stone still here, they've not touched this side. It's all still here, the paving stone. It's a proper brick stream this.
Yeah. It's all been modified, hasn't it? But you can see that it's all overgrown. We're struggling to hear there, James, but I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. On the opposite side was... There was two ponds, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was
right?
two. There was a small one and there was a large one. This is the end of it.
End of the small one?
There used to be a pipe going over the stream there at the end, yeah, it's still there, it's overgrown.
Right.
Gated it off and used to walk over that.
Let's get a shot of these bees. There was some bees around Winstanley yesterday, wasn't there? A big swarm of them.
Yeah, I believe so, I read that.
I didn't see it. Yeah, so bees are in that tree, don't go down there, people. Get stung. Right, let's get out of this bit. Ooh. Well, you got your wellies on, you can go anywhere.
Oh, that's why I put them on.
So when, the outline of these trees and the wood itself has remained that way for hundreds of years.
But these are original trees, these ones here. Yeah. They're original, you can tell.
But behind the trees was originally just fields, farmers' fields, that type of thing. A lot of farming in the area due to the
Somebody's marked this tree number 20 on it.
Say again?
Someone's put number 20 on that tree.
Number 20?
Well, they've been cutting a lot of trees down recently.
Alright.
So unless they're marking them for which one's being saved and which ones are not.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are diseased apparently.
Right, okay. Yeah, you can see some more concrete posts of the old.
Well, this is what you stop people forget going through the original
So
fencings there, the original steel netting.
Yeah.
That's all original, that.
So if you can imagine people
Well, you can
on
see
the
the stone
side.
slabs if you can get it over there. It ends there because all these have been stolen here. And then over there was the pond.
Have you made a nice little wall out of them in your garden? No.
No. I won't be lifting. I don't know how to pick them up because they're way from.
So you imagine people on the opposite side of the boundary there is Smithy Brook, which is it's been straightened up on this section, and the opposite side of that is kind of a walkway-ish type thing, and then the pond. Smithy Brook's there.
Yeah,
isn't it?
you had the path, the the stone slabs. Then it was the pond. That was it.
Right.
So you basically had that wide foot walk down,
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Right.
It was just for emergency water. That's all it did.
Is that what it was?
That's all it was for. Just in case there's a fire or anything.
Yeah.
Or...
I thought it was a dumping ground for wastewater, but
it was. Yeah.
there was stories of it being really deep and.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's because of the sludge it gathered as well. It was dangerous.
Yeah.
If you fell in, it would suck you under.
Yeah.
Well, a young boy died in there apparently.
Right.
A horse, I've read. The horse that died in there.
So this is the end of that section, is it?
Yeah. No, that pipe I was on about down cricket field that was placed
yeah.
underneath for drainage, and it said it come down here. Apparently I've read in one section it come off and underneath the factory. It was actually still there underneath what the main mill factory was.
All right.
Now over here, I remember directly across coming out there used to be a brick archway about this tall, made proper designed archway bridge with a steel pipe coming out.
Yeah.
Now that could have been that.
Right.
It was cast iron.
Right.
Now apparently if you could get down far enough you could have actually gone to the cellars of main mill.
Right, wow. You can see a little bit more of this original brickwork here on the side of the wall. And that's Smithy Brook, and on the opposite side was the pond. You can see all these trees of... When did they fill in the pond? It must have been before they built the estate.
90, when they bulldozed. I remember when they started bulldozing the land.
Yeah.
That was 95, I think it was. Around 94, 95. And a digger, John at Speedwells, has actually got a picture of the digger who straight through to the cellars, fell in, gone.
It fell in?
You couldn't see it was that deep.
Did they get it out again, or is it still there?
And Alan Pete has got a steel girder in his garage, what he used to...
Has he now? Has he now?
From main mill. And I bet I'm right on that one, because I remember him telling me.
Well, you got him into trouble. So there you go, that's the corner of the lodges there, the ponds from May Mill. How close was the back of May Mill here? How close was it? Was it a few hundred yards, or was it?
Top of that hill, a bit back, that's where it was. It was. It was massive, it was colossal.
Yeah. Go on, what you were saying about these...
There's some concrete slabs on top there, there's some there, still on there on that side.
Let's have a zoom in on those.
But yeah, there's some here there, on the soil.
What, just behind us?
It shows you the thickness, yeah. How thick it is there. And people have been lifting them up.
Yeah. The big ones, aren't they?
It's like this tree here. This is not old, this tree. That tree was never there when I
No, well, none of this was here.
No,
none of these
exactly.
trees.
So it shows that
It's only about 20 years.
Yeah, you might think it's an old one, and it's not. Some of it's just relatively new.
Strange how nature takes it back.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
well that's it. Didn't take long. We used to call this the hut when we was younger.
Well, they used to be able to get in there.
Yeah, you could go through the top as well.
Yeah. I don't know why anybody would want to, but
as well, you could just climb through.
Oh, was that where it was?
Yeah, it was this side. Well, I remember you saying that side. It was this side.
I just realised where I was filming then. If you look at the graffiti on the side,
you can see where it's been bricked.
Yeah.
It
overflows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose when it's had some heavy rainfall. It's turning into a nicer day now. You said tomorrow's weather's going to be bad.
Yeah, bad tomorrow.
a bit of a storm. So heading down this way, guys, if you ever do make it this way, you'll notice some of the steep slopes.
Yeah, it's very steep.
On the left.
You can actually see where some sections where it originally was, but it's eroding away every year. Right. So it's getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah.
So we're just doing a left little detour off the main path. And if we lose signal here, I apologise, but it does drop off the deeper we go into the wood. But we'll just go and have a quick nosy, because I know this is one of James's favourites. So what have we got here, James?
I have no name on the bridge at all. I can't find a name on it, but it is listed apparently.
Right.
They did some remedial work a few years ago and put concrete to stop it breaking away. At the top was Wild's houses, right directly opposite it. At the top of the hill. So I used to walk up an embankment there.
Yeah.
And that's where Wild's houses was. There was a grey building here, that was a workshop or a mill.
Top?
Yeah, it was called they said it was a factory, so it could have been Wild's first factory before the one he built before main mill. And then there was it was a single row of terrace, quite big. You used to line down like that. I remember apple trees at the back, and opposite was the wall where the scrapyard was.
Yeah. And
that other white building he took over.
Yeah.
But at the front of that, Wild's houses, it was just a road straight down. There was a gate in the wall a bit further down that took you to Wood Cottage, and that's it straight to Wood Cottage.
I mean, it's a bizarre looking bridge because how tall it is.
Yeah. It looks like it's been rebuilt numerous times over the years.
Yeah.
This is the side, I think that's the original.
Okay.
This is it. Here.
Because it's weird that it goes wider and thinner.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why they put this on, stop it breaking away. That was only done probably 5 years ago, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So go to the opposite side and have a look. Looks like it's double skinned as well. It's got 2 layers of brick.
It's a thick wall, yeah.
You can see where it goes up there.
But I'm trying to find information. I can't see. I don't understand why. The reason why it's
so big.
Why it's listed. That's
right.
the reason. Because at the end of the day, it's only an old bridge. Is it
significant in any way? I don't know.
Is it to do with the archway?
Yeah, it might be.
I don't know. I can't find anything on it. It's all been stone built here at the edge and everything. I think you said sandbags, didn't you?
Yeah, there's some sandbags. I saw them the other day.
Brick, that mate. Brick.
Is it brick?
It's brick.
No way.
It is. It's stone, solid stone. But, you know, I could actually...
Oh, he's got. That's why he's got his well. He's only wanted to get wet. That's why.
See, it goes quite deep in there.
Yeah, it does go under, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes right deep. It goes deeper there for some reason. Is there a well there as well? I don't know.
Maybe that's why it's listed.
Underneath?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what?
Go on.
They're not sandbags then. The bags with cement in them have gone hard.
Bags of cement.
They've gone hard.
Can you get a shot of that? If I just pass you the camera? Because I can't get it from this angle. Just tilt it down and it'll tilt down. That's it. You see they look like sandbags, don't they? But the bags of cement by the looks.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Just take a look.
Melted. Cheers, pal.
See, they've done some rendering, some points in here, so they're trying to save it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So all brick look here. If you have a look here.
Sorry, mate.
This brick look here. That's fell from the houses.
I'll just come round the opposite side of the have a look. I think James is in his element here, people. He's loving it. So we'll just get down. It's a little bit boggy here. You'll be all right in your wellies. Oh, look at this here. Look at that.
Old barrel, isn't it? Steel barrel or something.
An old barrel. Look at that.
Oh, it's solid, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's not listed.
I've never noticed that.
It's an old steel barrel.
Thick. How thick it is? You know where it is?
It's all rusty and everything.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I'll come down.
Wonder how long it is since that's been moved. Is there any gold in here?
You never know. You could find it. You never know. You can see all the stone, the bricks and everything. So it shows you what was built around. There's stuff built around here.
Yeah.
There's people living here.
And there's a big black pipe over there again.
Yeah, we used to cross that. Well, there used to be another pathway here. Used to lead up and used to take us to the back of the mill.
Right.
There used to be a loading bay at back at mill. It used to take you to that.
Right, so we'll get back up to the main path again. There we go, we're back on it. So you can see the bridge down there. You can't miss it when you walk past, just through the trees. Been an hour and 20 minutes, mate.
Yeah. Somebody camping down here.
No way. Oh, I've never seen anybody camping in the woods.
Not very far.
So we're just heading towards the steps now to our start point. There's a circular walk, there's a couple of steps and a little wooden bridge. Were these all put in?
These were built in the 80s for the
80s.
pathway. The council put them in.
Yeah.
Took tidying it all up, to be honest. It was a mess.
Could it do with some reinvestment, you think?
Just people complained, saying it was a mess. Blundell's made such a mess in the area.
Yeah.
When they left in the 40s, they never did anything.
Right.
We should have put it back.
Yeah.
But we never did. So
well, let's hope
the National Coal Board and Council took it over. And they're tidying it up.
well, let's hope at some point there'll be some more reinvestment in it, you know. That's the main thing. Hello. Ooh, back out into the wind. Come make it up, mate. Come make it up. I'll have to stand behind that fence and finish off. Woo! It's got blasted. So that is the history tour. Going down the steps there towards Foundry Lane.
Watkins Brow.
Right, Watkins Brow, sorry.
Yeah.
Down Foundry Lane and across through St Matthew's, past the cricket ground, all the way down to Pony Dick. I'm not going to fist bump you, but from a distance we will do. Boom. James, thank you so much for today.
No problem.
It's been great to have you on the group and contribute to everything you have.
Like I say, I'm no expert, but it's just what I'm into. That's it.
So we hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll certainly be doing another one. There's a couple of ideas that we've got floating about. Not only that, he's been asked to be a teacher. So we have to call him Mr. Hornby now. So yeah, thanks very much for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will certainly see you again tomorrow for another walk. We'll do our next history walk next week.
Hopefully,
Fingers crossed. Yeah, belting. All right, thanks again, guys. We will see you again soon. Take it easy. Bye for now.